Now, a new partnership between the Ingonyama Trust and AfriForum was announced this week at the inaugural Zulu Kingdom Investment Conference, which was held in Durban. The conference looked at ways in which citizens of the Zulu Kingdom can participate in the economy of their territory under the control of the Ingonyama Trust. For more on this, we're joined by cultural expert Professor Musa Xulu. Professor, thanks for your time. I appreciate you standing by for so long. Now, there is a progressive development proposed by AfriForum. How will the underutilized land be used?
Yeah, no, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot to yourself, Hugo, and your viewers. Firstly, let me correct this, that it's not a partnership with Ingonyama Trust. It's a partnership between the AfriForum and the Zulu Kingdom. We had this conference this week, which was very successful. I have never seen so many brains, wanting development and progress assembled under one roof. It's been a long time since we last had this. What happened was this. In the year 2018, AfriForum approached then His Majesty King Zulu with a proposal. The relationships between the Zulu nation, the Zulu Kingdom and the Afrikaners has been an on-off thing. The defining moment was in 1838, firstly in February when Piet Retief and his armies were ambushed and killed at Umgungundlovu during the reign of King Dinizulu, the reign of King Ingane. And then, of course, the very, very defining moment for all Afrikaners and Zulus was on 16 December 1838, the war that fought at Blood River, which I think ended in a draw. And then some 12 years later, the Afrikaners were able to, not 12 years, 4 years later, 2 years later, the Afrikaners were able to assist King Pande to ascend the throne. When King Kochayo came on board, he looked more in the direction of the English. But King Dinizulu became very, very close to the Afrikaners. So when AfriForum came to King, His Majesty, the late King Zwelithini, they were having this proposal that the relations need to be revived in a positive manner. AfriForum has got the skills in terms of farming, for example, that they have a network of farmers with the Southern African Agricultural Initiative led by Dr. Theo Dianka, and then, of course, Kale Kriel. So when we planned the conference, His Majesty called me to say, we have to plan it properly and I must get in touch with AfriForum because he wanted to revive that relationship which had been established in 2018 when his father was alive. So AfriForum comes in here with the skills to can assist the rural communities, especially now, this is where it comes, Ingonyama Trust comes in. The lands that are under Ingonyama Trust, especially under Amakosi. And how it will work is that AfriForum will work with Amakosi directly as well as with communities. The intention is to farm in a manner that will lead to food security in the Zulu Kingdom among the people of the Zulu nation. So that, and of course, it's a model that can be also, done in other kingdoms in South Africa. But we're focusing now on the Zulu Kingdom. How it will work, we will, as a Heritage Development Trust, compile a list of projects and Amakosi who are willing to participate. I have been already approached by Amakosi along the coast who want to participate in the program. And then, as you work with the king, of course, this is how you do. He says, go and do this, you do it perfectly, and you go and report. You're not going to sit with the king every day to say, okay, king, now I'm running out of water, and so on. So it's a big, big, big tent of events for the Zulu Kingdom. And everyone that was there in the conference has been very excited about this development.
It certainly seems so, but we must talk about unemployment, which is at an all-time high. How does this impact unemployment, particularly of young people? How are young people, will young people be integrated into farming and these new processes that we speak of?
Well, they will need training. They will need proper training on farming because the land is available. But you know what? If you don't have the skills and the knowledge of how to farm, you can have vast miles of land and it will not help you. So they will need training, skilling, and AfriForum has agreed to do that. Also, we have been talking to investors in the Netherlands who have the skills in horticulture. They also want to come in and train young people in the kingdom to ensure that instead of going out to look for work and so on, look at the land next to you and utilize it not only for your family, but also for that which you can sell to the rest of the world as a result of the extra harvest that you will have.
Now, looking into the future, and let's talk about the impact that it will have. Let's talk about those numbers of young people that will be involved in farming. Do we have an idea of those numbers, firstly? And I suppose the second question to ask is, let's talk about local investment, because obviously it's one thing to want to go into farming, but it's a totally different kettle of fish when you have to look at how much money will be required to not only upskill you, but to purchase certain tools that are required in order for you to actually farm.
At the conference itself, we had a few local investors, quite a number, of course, all of them saying that, pledging that they have money that they can put. But of course, the logistics of it is that you can't put money to people who are not skilled. So we have those. We also have in line a good number of foreign investors that are interested in the Zulu Kingdom. You know, the Zulu brand is known throughout the world, and everyone wants to associate with it, and especially with His Majesty the King now walking this path of economic development for his people. It is becoming exciting. How it will work? Each Inkosi or traditional leader in his ward will compile a database of young people, women, and even men who are interested in participating in the program. That database situation, Inkosi Shinga, who is the chairperson of the Provincial House of Traditional Leaders, is already on board. He spoke there at the conference. And we're not saying that all Amakosi will want to participate, but it's going to be difficult for an Inkosi not to participate here because it's for the betterment of the socio-economic situation of their people. So those databases will be compiled in the next 3 to 6 months. And then, of course, AfriForum wants to start the first project in January. And we're in the process of identifying such a project, working with Amakosi. So it's going to be key that Amakosi re-empower themselves and their people by having these databases of people. And, of course, then the skills, the training itself will be practical, meaning that you will have to be doing the actual work as you train, not some theoretical work where you sit in a university lecture hall and be told about farming. You will have to be there to do it yourself as a young person or a woman or even heads of families as men.
Professor, appreciate your time this afternoon. Professor Musa Xulu, cultural expert, speaking to us on that partnership between AfriForum and the Zulu Kingdom and the